Hello, I am Krimsh, the Man Called Insipid, and let's play Xexyz, action platformer shoot-'em-up hybrid. Our hero Apollo just flew by in a turtle. It's that kind of game. Xexyz was all that was left of the world after the apocalypse? Verbal shrug intended. The apocalypse is not detailed. What is the fact that the world was reduced to 5 habitable islands, populated by fairies, elves, and other mystic creatures, ruled over by the benevolent King Star and his daughter Maria, and each of the islands were controlled by their own queen. Then, the evil space fortress Garuza showed up, killed King Star, captured Maria Star, and took over each of the islands, imprisoning each of the queens therein. Apollo then put on his trusty spacesuit, / duck suit, and decided to fight back. In order to do this, of course, we're starting on the Island of Ruins, and we need some money. So this ghost will drop a treasure chest down for us, and this one has got nothing in it. Fantastic. Fortunately, any room that will give us money for free we can go back into a second time. This time we may be a little more lucky. There we go. 70E is the best possible outcome. Of course, nothing is the worst possible outcome, and there are also possibilities of getting 20 or 40. This is a game with some RPG elements in it, including changing weapons. The weapon we have just acquired is the 45B ball. It moves at a 45-degree angle and bounces. It bounces off of 3 surfaces, and when it hits a 4th surface, it vanishes. It also moves a little too slowly for my liking. Let's fix that. We are going to power it up. Every weapon in the game, including the basic hand cannon that we started with, has a regular and a powered-up form. This is the powered-up form of the 45B ball. It moves faster. The Island of Ruins has bottomless pits in it. Those are irritating. We try not to fall in them. The fairies that were not captured or killed by Garuza often remain in hiding in these little rooms and give us useful information, like we have to find a force star to get into the Mechanic Castle. So this is the first part of Area 1, the Island of Ruins. Parts 2 and 3 take place in the Mechanic Castle itself. So in order to get into the Mechanic Castle, our job here is to find a force star, while navigating the many traps on the island. This cheerful fellow wants to play a gambling game with us. He's not very good at gambling, though. Those boxes contain 30, 50, and 100E. Anyone who with a basic sense of math will notice that there is no losing bet here. And as with the ghost room, we can do it twice and only twice. So now we're looking for the right stone carved with a star. It's not that one. Here's an imprisoned fairy. That bull demon is vicious. If he hits hard. Fortunately, he hangs out above us, so I can deal with him with the 45B ball. There is one standard reward in Xexyz, and that is money. And of course, anything that doesn't give us money for free does not return a second time. Here's a magic item. Magic items augment our abilities. The foot wing gives me higher jumping power, the length of the entire screen, and I can float by rapidly tapping the A button. I have a rapid-fire controller. If I hold the rapid-fire A, I hover. That's fun. I can also manage my height of my jumps by tapping the A button and starting a float. The L boxes recover our energy. The E balls, of course, add to our E balls. And this frog... I'm sorry, frog. I'm only slightly damaged, and I have a foot wing. I can hover over everything. I bid you good day, sir. So, getting hit by a spaceship is unwise. It hurts. It took 2/3 of my life, by the way. Unlike attack items, the Footwing disappears after 3 hits. I took a 3rd hit, my Footwing vanished immediately. All 3 magic items are temporary. Still checking the star-carved stones. Obviously, this one is not the right one. I think we'll take the lower route. Those guys look mean. So we need to go and meet the Phantom of King Zoostar. He's waiting for us, apparently. This lovely lady just gives us money. Why not? I mean, I am fighting for the good of all humankind, and fairy kind, and all the other things. But she's only there twice. So this is the Mechanic Castle. I cannot proceed. I'm looking for a Force Star. I can't get into the castle without a Force Star. And clearly, this will not lead me to the Force Star. So back we go to check all the star-carved blocks. It's not there. Again, patience is rewarded. Rushing generally means you rush into something that's going to hit you. And since I'm coming back past this guy, I might as well get a new Footwing. We'll be a little more careful. We will look both ways before crossing the sky. Not get into another traffic accident. Here we go. This looks like the right one. Look at that. So with a Footwing, this guy's surprisingly easy, because I can just hover right over him. There we go. That is cheesing it a bit. Or a lot. And his head becomes incorporeal. We can return to the Devil's Room, but of course he won't fight us a second time because we already have a 4-star. I didn't show off that room there. That room has a young woman in it who will upgrade our weapon for 20E. There's no need for that. We can go and claim it twice from the guy who gives it to us for free. There's absolutely no need to pay for it, unless we are not upgrading a weapon we get for free. So on we go to the Mechanic Castle, and the moment we touch the entrance, we are in. So this is the Mechanic Castle. This is Area 1-2. Garuza built a Mechanic Castle on each island to contain the queens that he had captured. Most Mechanic Castles don't have this much space in them. This much space, of course, makes the 45 B-ball less useful, but makes the Footwing that much more useful, and if I were a more competent player at this point, I wouldn't have taken nearly so long to get that guy. This is an item shop. There are item shops all over. Area 1-1 is unique for not having one. We could replace our 45 B-ball with the basic hand beam if we wished, and just like claiming a free item twice, if we buy an item twice, it upgrades. This is handy because the Mechanic Castles are sometimes devoid of the fine young ladies who upgrade things for us. We'll just show off the power of the 45 B-ball a bit, and we will talk to this gentleman right here to get some information. Fantastic. These guys are everywhere. I don't know how they missed that typo in QA, but they did. So this gentleman is telling us how we can go to the various different levels of the Mechanic Castle. This is handy information. There on the left you will see the air vent he was talking about, and up we go. Stairs are so last century, apparently. We can go up even higher. So up here, we will get a chance... This is a dead end. But there's something in that door. We will get a chance to raid the castle's treasury, I suppose. We've seen this before. What we haven't seen is what happens when you miss! Nothing. In fact, literally nothing. That doesn't even take away one of our 2 chances to find out what's in the boxes. It's entirely unimportant. Just wastes time. So while we're wasting time, The overall structure of Xexyz is divided into 6 large cycles. The first 5 consist of an odd-numbered island level, divided into 3 sections, and an intermediary area between them where you fly from one island to the next. The first part of an odd-numbered area is the outdoors, the island section. The second part is the first half of the Mechanic Castle, and the third part is the second half of the Mechanic Castle. These different sections are significant because they are also the checkpoints. Had we died at any point on the island, we would have been returned to the start of the level, and if we die at any point in this section of the castle, we're returned to the start of the Mechanic Castle. If we die in any part of the second half of the Mechanic Castle, including fighting the boss, we return to the beginning of the second half of the Mechanic Castle. The final cycle, consisting of areas 11 and 12, is set up slightly differently, but we'll deal with that when we get there. So here we have the hangar for the mobile armor. We can't shoot in here, we can't jump high enough to get out the second door, so we have to climb in, pay 20E. This is the mobile armor Vardex. This is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up like Gradius. The S is not salt, just as later the P is not pepper, but rather speed and power. Every S we pick up makes us more mobile, to a limit of 5. Every P we pick up makes our energy or weapon more powerful, to a limit of 2. Here we have a choice of 2 doors. I chose poorly, so we have to do the segment again. It's exactly as it was the first time. All this serves to do is waste your time and energy, drain your life, although it does give you a chance to pick up more speed and power capsules, and does improve your score. So there's that. So when you get your second P, it changes your weapon type. So this one's a forward double. Unlike Gradius or Life Force, running into the walls does not actually hurt. Although if I were to get trapped behind a wall and crushed against the edge of the screen, that would hurt. It wouldn't be an instant death, though. The only instant death in this game is falling into a pit in the platform sections. And that's generally a pretty rare threat. This time I chose correctly, and all we have to do is land the mobile armor, and we can move on to Area 1-3, the second half of the Mechanic Castle and the Mechanic Castle boss. So it doesn't look a whole lot different from 1-2. We can't get that because it's blocked off. So the item shop has the same stuff as we would find in the first item shop, only I didn't look at magic items. That includes the foot wing, and also 2 other items we'll find out about later. We're going to take advantage of the foot wing and the wide open space to make this area so much easier, to make life a little simpler. Because it's just a simplifier, and it makes everything so much easier, I won't be using the foot wing too much. There are places where it's not useful at all, and some places where it's almost too useful. It kind of defeats a lot of the platforming, especially with the rapid fire and the ability to hover. Our last piece of information. These guys will tell us things like how to get around, but they'll also tell us the weak points of a boss. Every mechanical fortress has one in the second area that will tell us the weak point of the boss. And they're quite useful. A lot of the time, the boss's weak points are actually pretty obvious when it comes down to it. So this is the only place we have left to go, and we are receiving a message from the big giant head. That is actually the head of King Zoostar, the Phantom of King Zoostar, who is telling us that he appreciates our courage, and I'm going to tell him, Boss? No. No. Appreciate my courage, will you? I like my foot wing. Oh well, regardless, we've got to go do this to progress. So that flying saucer over there, when we jump on it, it will recover our life. We don't need to recover life. We are fully healthy. It is free moving as well. We can jump off of it, but it will follow underneath us if we jump left to right. It gives us a way to dodge shots a little faster. And here's our first boss. Normally I'd be shooting him as he comes in, but I don't have to. Just showing him off a little bit. Those things he's flinging at us are destructible. And this is where the 45B ball shines. I can sit at the top of the room and just rain death down upon this boss and his gigantic forehead. which is his weak point, if you'll recall. A weak point is not a spot that you have to hit in this game, it just adds to the damage you do. If you hit the weak point, you do extra damage. Here is the lovely Queen Cecile to thank us. She uses a standard speech. All the queens use exactly this speech, up to and including Cyborg Rider, except for the 5th queen, who tells us to go and attack the mechanical fortress of Garuza. We're still free roving, but we can't go anywhere till we go through the door. This room is modeled on the mobile armor hangar and contains the Cyborg Rider Z-Box. And once we climb into the armor, we level up and get a little more life. So here is Area 2-1. Side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. This is how we get from one island to the other. What I didn't show off in the mechanical armor is that we also have that forward-dropping bomb, which isn't that useful. These areas are quite lovely. Pretty chill. Again, the walls don't do damage to us. That thing, on the other hand, will chase us around, so I go and destroy it very quickly. It does a lot of damage, too, and it won't leave us alone. But most enemies, pretty chill. Pretty easy going. That thing is a mine. It doesn't matter where you are on the screen, it will hit you. That's irritating, so I kill it. Those 3 beeps indicate that we are speeding up so we can travel between the 2 islands through space, I guess? Moving this quickly means that, if we hit the platforms like that, we will be caused damage. And we've got a boss to keep us on the island. I don't want to stay on the island, so I will destroy this boss. We can drop bombs on him from overhead, but it's slow and still dangerous, because he can still shoot us up there. I'd rather just shoot at him. And that's that. We've completed the first cycle of 6 in Xexyz. We move along from one island to the next. And this island is the Island of the Forest. And when we return next time, you will see just what that entails, and just what we have to do here. Until then, this is Krimsh, the Man Called Insipid, signing off.